Amir Albazi is out. Hyun Sung Park is in the main event of UFC Fight Night. Give it to me. I think it's a good fight. I feel like Park and Tatsuro Taira is a better matchup. I think we're going to have a more fun fight, a more competitive fight all around. Yes, wrestling is, in fact, boring. Shout out to Johnny Eblin. Folks, coming off of a massive betting week. I told you guys last week on Most Confident, it wasn't about Most Confident this week. It was about dogs, and the dogs bit. Super excited to see Rainier DeRitter grind that thing out. They were 2-2 going into fifth. Rainier DeRitter gets it done against Rob Whitaker, a game Rob Whitaker in a fun fight. I hit that plus 170. Bogdan Guskov getting it done against Nikita Krylov. It was a shell of his former self. I mean, plus 170 you're going to give us for a guy who's on a fucking roll like Bogdan Guskov. And then the other big dog we hit was Martin Boudet at plus 250. Cha-ching! Against Marcus Buchecha Almeida. This is why I, dig deep on these guys, I was watching the tape on Marcus Buchecha Almeida because I've seen him training, and I know he sort of left his explosive athletics in the past. He kind of fell off in jiu-jitsu too, So seeing him transition to MMA seemed a little bit more of a money grab, Boudet wants this. Boudet's a big man, 266 pounds of him, and the odds were almost that wide at plus 250. So just massive week of betting. Shout out to everybody in the premium channel. My favorite people. If you guys want to see who I'm betting on, DM at MikeFinchShow on Instagram. My guy T will get you in there, and you could see what my most confident bets are. And I'm going to give you guys my 5 most confident picks for UFC Fight Night. We're back at the Apex with this one, so let's have some fun. Got a donation. Need that 15-second shadow box. Finchman the GOAT. Instead of a 15-second shadow box, I just continue to turn it into 15-second boxing lesson, okay? So let's talk about a parry today. So what is a parry? When someone's throwing a shot at you, you could redirect the shot by tapping it out of the way. Now, what you don't want to do is what Sean Strickland did when he fought Poatan, okay? He was parrying way too much, right? So Poatan saw that when he was sticking that jab out to his chest, to his body, and then came upstairs with the left hook. Instead, a great parry is actually as small as possible, so I could be right there to defend my head if I need to. So you don't want to parry way to fuck out here too often, right? I want to parry just so that I can redirect it. If a giant asteroid was coming for Earth, the idea is that it could be detected and that they could deflect it, right? They don't have to throw a catcher's mitt out there and catch it, although that would be cool. They just want to make sure it doesn't hit Earth. Very similarly, make sure their jab doesn't hit your face by just touching it, all right? Use that little parry. The parry saved my ass. I had to keep this face looking like this, all right? I've sparred with Rafael Dos Anjos. I sparred with guys who could have kicked my ass if I didn't have that fucking parry. Make sure you got your parry on point. Thank you, Mr. Cass. All right, let's talk about the 5 most confident picks for UFC Fight Night. Park versus Taira. I'm kicking it off with the co-main event. I'm going, it isn't even the co-main event, actually. Right underneath it, I'm going Esteban Ribovics over Elves Brenner. Elves Brenner, very fucking talented on the ground, but I think he's going right into the fire. I'm going Ribovics. I think he's a lock here. I'm going to go Zaleski over Neil Magny. I think Zaleski's going to be too much on the feet. I think Neil Magny getting put out in the first round twice can't be good for him. I'm going to go with Kevin Vallejos over Danny Silva. He's too fucking dangerous, moves forward. I do think he's going to put those weapons on him. He's bringing, some heavier artillery. He's got, it's 22 LR for Danny Silva and it's fucking 10 millimeter for Kevin Vallejos. Who understands that? You're probably American. I'm going to go with Pulayev over Nick Klein because of the striking advantage, because I do think that the wrestling will be able to hold up. And then give me Bashi over Yanis in the very first fight of the night, the last edition on the card, I believe. I haven't even seen the odds for this one, but I'm going to go with Bashi over Yanis after my tape study. Those are my 5 most confident. I'm going to break them down one by one. Let me start with the kids. Bashi is a solid grappler. He lost to Christian Rodriguez in his UFC debut. Called it. Dog money. Austin Bashi, I believe, will be able to take down a Yanis. Excuse me. My wife just made some great pasta. Woo! Excuse me. Yanis is a good striker. Yanis has power, right? So I don't think this is a free lunch per se, but Bashi, has also fought in Muay Thai. He's not out of sorts on the feet. Christian Rodriguez couldn't do much to him, and Christian Rodriguez, I think, is a better striker than Yanis. Yanis just has more power. I think the problem here is Yanis is getting put on his back. He doesn't look to be as strong as an Austin Bashi. I think Bashi's going to get a hold of him here, drag him onto the ground, and do work from the top position, ground and pound, potentially looking for a sub. It's a pretty good fight, but I do think Bashi is going to be able to have the biggest advantage when it comes to the ground. I think on the feet, he'll keep it competitive enough, and he doesn't make big, stupid mistakes. He's not like a wild kid, and I've seen Yanis fight to a split decision just 2 years ago outside of the UFC. I think Bashi's pretty high level, man. I'm going to give Bashi a shot here. I'm going to say he gets a decision or potentially gets a submission. Pulayev over Nick Klein. Nick Klein with the mullet. Ugly ass mullet. Nick Klein with some nice jiu-jitsu, but doesn't have the wrestling and the striking, I think, to get Pulyaev where he needs him to be. Pulyaev, a knockout artist who could also get to a decision here. I think he's just going to hit harder and be able to defend these takedowns, even though it's in the apex, right? When they're in that little cage, if you're a good wrestler, you can make stuff happen there, especially if you like wrestling on the fence. I love wrestling on the fence. I don't believe in Nick Klein's offensive wrestling enough to pick him here. I got to go Pulayev via knockout. I'm going Vallejos over Silva. All right. I said it's 10 millimeter against 22 LR. 22 LR is like this little thin round, right? And a 10 millimeter could put down a fucking bear, I feel like the pressure that he's going to be able to put forward, the punching power is just different. I do think that Vallejos is going to be able to put a shot on him. Danny Silva has a nice little record going. Some close decisions he's been able to eke out in the UFC. Let's peek at it. I mean, he's on a little win streak here. Not too bad. Pretty well-rounded guy. Not too bad at striking either. 10-1, by the way. And an America. Lucas Almeida and Josh Kulabau were the split decisions. Lucas Almeida, a little, how can you say, not super dangerous on the feet. I think that's a big difference between the matchups. Josh Kulabau is actually a nice boxer, and I do like that split decision win. But this is a guy in Vallejos who just has a little more speed, a little more power, a little more talent. I think that's going to matter here. I don't feel like Danny Silva can keep him off of him in the apex. I'm going to say that even though he's 5'11", he won't be able to use that jab, won't be able to use the movement, and won't be able to get Vallejos down. Give me Kevin Vallejos, and yes, you could tell I'm thinking knockout. Neil Magny is taking on Elijah Zaleski. Zaleski, because of the striking, man. Neil Magny is a good grappler, not extremely physically strong. It would help here, And we saw Chidi and Njokuani get past Zaleski. Neil Magny doesn't have that type of weaponry, talent on the feet. I'm very impressed by Chidi and Njokuani's kicking game and his ability to mix it up on the feet and be unpredictable. I don't think Neil Magny at 37 years old is going to be that unpredictable. I think he's going to want to clinch, want to drag this fight into the ground, and not have the offensive wrestling to be able to do it. Another stranded jiu-jitsu guy I'm betting against here. I like Neil Magny. I used to work with Neil Magny on the microphone at Hoosier Fight Club, calling the fist fights, and he's a good dude. But I have to bet with my head. I have to pick with my head. I have to pick Zaleski. I think Zaleski is going to give him a run for his money on finish too. So let's go with Zaleski KO. Probably, keeps him off of him for a while and keeps accumulating shots. But we've seen, Neil put out early, albeit against great competition. Neil Magny's fighting Carlos Pratas and, really, really talented, guys in the division. The Mike Malott win was a comeback win. Remember, he was getting beat up by Mike Malott, and Mike Malott looked good in Canada recently too. So I got to give respect where respect is due. Respect is due to the great and powerful Mike Malott. But Neil Magny has been, showing his age and not showing a lot of weapons on the feet. Michael Morales was the other guy who was able to put him away in the very first round. So not loving the recent performances by Neil Magny, although obviously you have to put the asterisk there of he's fighting the talented kids in the division. I do think this one is more competitive, but I gotta go with Zaleski on the feet. And then last but not least, Esteban Ribovics over Elvis Brenner. Elvis Brenner, 10, 11 submission victories in his pro career. He's very good at submission grappling. And he goes right into the fire. He's fun on the feet. He has been able to get some knockouts in the UFC, some finishes, no submissions at this level. And that stands out to me, right? Because that would be his big advantage here. If they're not grappling, bro, you're in Esteban's world. I think Esteban is going to be able to put big shots on him, get him rocked. And the problem with Elvis Brenner is he throws himself right in the fire, right in the fucking fire. Total like Brazilian style, right? Where they fight with their heart, and it's very admirable. But against an Esteban Ribovic who is too dangerous, I think that he gets clipped, man. So another knockout artist I'm going for. Not showing too much love to the grapplers on my 5 most confident picks. I'm realizing as I'm telling you right now, but that's how I see it. All right. One more time for my people in the back. I'm going Esteban Ribovics. I think he's too damn dangerous on the feet for Elvis Brenner. I'm going with Elizeu Zaleski because I think Elizeu Zaleski is too damn dangerous on the feet for Neil Magny. I'm going Kevin Vallejos because I think Kevin Vallejos is too damn dangerous on the feet for Danny Silva. I'm going with Pulayev because I think he'll win by knockout. And I'm going to go with Austin Bashi. Hey, there's the one grappler I'm giving some love to. I do think Austin Bashi hits these takedowns because of the physicality difference, right? I think he's stronger, and I do believe in his grappling and his ground and pound. Those are my 5 most confident picks for UFC Fight Night at the Apex Park versus Taira. I'll be dropping my full card predictions end of the week. I want to see weigh-ins first. There's a couple of these where weigh-ins really matter. I want to see how much bigger Duncan is. I want to see a few things, right, before I, maybe place some final bets, okay? If you learned anything from last week, let it be this. The 5 most confident is not always how I bet, right? So if you want to make money betting, right? Sometimes you chase a good dog, and that's what I did last week. We had multiple good dogs. You guys have seen my short. Hopefully, if you haven't, go check it out. The 3 big dogs that we were happy to get. Although Almabayev was like even odds. That was a nice one. Plus 125, Rainier DeRitter wins 3 rounds to 2. Through some wicked knees, also got counter throwing those wicked knees. Better grappling than Rob Whitaker. You got Bogdan Guskov, who just kind of ran over, just fucking cracked, the Ukrainian's name is slipping me. Nikita Krylov on the ground goes for this leg lock in like desperation. That's not what you want to do. Go for leg locks in desperation. He threw it on like fucking Hail Mary leg lock, Hail Mary heel hook. No, you're going to eat hooks to the dome from Bogdan Guskov, plus 170. Did they price that wrong or what? Very, very happy to deliver that one. And then Martin Boudet, which I saw coming from a mile away. Martin Boudet, never been taken down in the UFC, proved to be too tough a customer for the jiu-jitsu champion, the former jiu-jitsu world champion in Buchecha. So he was able to outstrike him, defend enough takedowns, get up when he needed to. Buchecha actually butchered 2 times. He had the back. He lost it. He can go in the doghouse with Said Nurmagomedov, who also blew the back take at the end, at the 3rd round with Bryce Mitchell when he needed it, when rounds were 1-1. So we made money last week. We're super excited about that. If you guys want to see who I'm betting on, DM at MikeFinchShow on Instagram, and I'll get you guys in there. All right. What up, chat? What say you, chat? Grow the beard out? bro. I don't grow a great beard. My hair is very fine. Like, see how you kind of see my scalp? My hair is it's very fine, So I think my beard, I could it looks like the hair on my head grows out of my face. I don't know. Something I don't like about it, but maybe I'll grow the playoff beard. Maybe I'll feel the need. All right. Maybe we'll do a poll. We need me versus Steve Erceg. Why would I fight my brother? Finch, do you watch film before these picks or not till your full card picks? Absolutely. I always watch film. Generally, I watch film on Sundays, right? I'll watch film on Mondays too. But generally it's Sunday. I do a film day. And then, Monday, if I work at the gym too. So I'm coaching fighters. I'm coaching, mom and pops too, kids, coach everybody. So, I'm getting, my boy T ready for a grappling tournament and an MMA fight next year. I mean, I'm getting people some work. So I focus on that on Monday. And then, throughout the week, I do watch more tape. I mean, it is true, right? I'd say, half of the time I flip a pick, throughout the week. And a lot of times when I pick flip, I do end up betting on that because generally it's like a dog that I've grown to like or something. And I'll go for it. Those are like my Friday post weigh-in bets, so which I'm happy to give the premium channel. It's just, when they're there, you leave it alone. So you want to sleep? Go to bed, sus pastor. Go to bed. Like the stream, and please subscribe. If you guys are watching this video and you're not subscribed to my channel, what are you doing? I am like 100 people away from 10K. Can we get me over 10K? Can you help me out? Okay. Do your boy a solid. Hit the like, drop a comment. If you got nothing to say, W is fine. I'll take a W. And then please subscribe. Thank you. What up, Finchy? Just how good is Boudet? Hasn't he only lost to the GOAT? The GOAT. The GOAT. Boudet's all right, man. He's the 13th ranked heavyweight, And so I think that's enough against a Marcus Buchecha Almeida who has this wild, blind overhand right and not the best wrestling, just kind of, blast double. And there's not enough blast in the double because Martin Boudet's a monster. He used to be 400 and something pounds. You heard his story? Martin Boudet's huge, man. So, his legs and his core strength still think he's 440 pounds or whatever the fuck he was, and he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu too, and a better striker and on a win streak, So there were just so many reasons to go for him. Plus 250. So shout out to Premium Channel. Let's fucking go. Stay in the zone. Thank you, Alex. Hey, I'm on a little lock streak. Let's keep it fucking going. Finchy, I would love to thank you for making me money on the Boudet pick. Let's go, Michael. You in Premium Channel? Let's fucking go. In this small Apex cage, I think Brenner will have the takedown advantage for the decision win. Yeah, Brenner, I think, will need the takedowns. I don't think he's going to get him. I'm not that impressed at his actual takedown ability. He's nasty on the ground, but he has to get it there. I think that little cage is going to make more exchanges happen. I think Esteban Ribovics is going to clock him, dude. Is it me or people sleeping on Duncan? I'm trying not to, bro. There's a reason why that didn't make the most confident. I want to see the height difference at weigh-ins. That's important. Duncan's been looking really good. I think ATT looks real good on him, man. He's been getting better and better. He's entering his prime now. These are both dogs who came through, right? So there's the oral by fight to assess. And then there is who did Duncan just beat? Fucking name is escaping me right now. I know you're saying it at the crib. My bad. Jordan Vasenik, the tattooed up grappler, Jordan Vasenik, and he fucking guillotined Jordan Vasenik. And before that, he beat Balaji Oki. Was he a dog there too? Yes, he was. So he's a dog against Oki, submits him. He's a dog. He's a 3-1 dog against Vucenic, submits him. He's a plus 175 dog to Rębecki. I'm not trying to sleep on him at all. Rębecki, very physically strong, powerful puncher. Beating Oralby is no joke, man. Oralby is a really good wrestler. What is he now? 4-1 in the UFC. And then, got the first round finish in the Contender Series. He's no fucking joke, man. It's a really good fight. 32 years old. He's in his prime. He's Polish. I got my mom's side is Polish, not the Finch side, but the Nagea side. So, Polish power. Sorry if I miss a couple of you guys. I made a bag betting on Tabitha Ricci with DeRitter and a parlay. Are you crazy for that? Tabitha Ricci was dog money, man. That was a risk. Tabitha Ricci looked good. Big elbow on the fence. I don't know why people keep doubting her, man. I ended up picking Tabitha Ricci in my full card picks, which I did nicely on. How shit is Ibo Aslan? That's funny. Yeah. That's why I picked against him. Picked the dog. Finch would dominate Urseg. Thank you. It's pronounced Taira. I don't know, man. I don't know if you're right about that one. If you are, my apologies. All right. Those are my 5 most confident picks. I'm going to drop the bets in premium channel. DM at MikeFinchShow on Instagram to get into premium channel to see my favorite bets. I got a lock streak going. Don't fucking miss it if you feel like seeing some bets, man. And it's up to you guys. I give you guys my biggest bets. I'm generally like, okay, what am I putting my money on? And I think backwards from there, so sometimes it's a couple bets, right? I'm even thinking in the future, I could just go one. Like if I got a confident one, right, that's fine. But I was generally doing like 3 to 5 bets. This last week, I gave out more. We had a Pulyaev. We had others in there too. So, if you want to see who I'm betting on, DM at MikeFinchShow. We'll get you in there. I will be back on Friday for most confident picks after weigh-ins. So I'll see you guys on Friday. And then generally it's been like a Sunday show. I'm doing a recap show, and that's actually not live. So I'm going to start dropping those because people look at my channel sometimes and they're like, you haven't posted in months. Why aren't you doing the show no more? It's like, guys, you got to hit the live tab. Okay. So people still think I'm alive. I have to post something on my, normal page, pre-recorded videos. That's what I'll do. Most confident picks I'll keep live. Full card predictions on Friday I'll keep live. And then I'll do, like a pre-recorded one for the recap show. All right. So I'll see you guys then. And I'll drop something in the free channel as well. I'll drop that link in the description here. But I hope you come see me on premium. I appreciate y'all tuning in as always. And you guys know how I end it. It's true. It's peace and love.